Morning, folks. We're here in Oklahoma with my buddy Ryan, and we're gonna do a little river smallmouth trip.
I'm very excited. First smallmouth trip of the year.
So you got your I-11 in there.
Yep.
You're gonna pump that thing up. Show me what you got, man.
So I'm just using a very simple inflator, just like what you'd use at a air mattress or something cheap from Walmart.
Yep.
I've got my Goal Zero Yeti 200X right here. Okay. This is my power source to be able to fill this up. I use this just to kind of fill up the mass, and then I go through and use the actual pump to be able to get it up full to full max capacity.
Cool. While you're doing that, I know I got the Innovative Sportsman Osprey 1436 here. I do kind of want to cover a little bit on realistic expectations with inflatables. So if you've been using a rotomolded kayak, that a pretty standard thing that you got to do on a regular basis is you get that bilge sponge and you kind of soak up some of the water. Water's just going to get in. It's very rare that you have a kayak that, and I've already done this from our recent trip on Lake Erie in 7-footers. Ryan, you were saying that though most of it probably came from when I was driving in the rain. These hatches are good hatches, but nothing is, totally leak proof. I mean, I think I bet you in the last 25 years of owning these little plastic boats, I think I've had 2 of them that I know were solid, were really good, and one was the Jackson U-Pick, which that was designed to just not have hatches. So realistic expectations on inflatables. Let's go back to the Osprey 1436. So I've been on the road with this and had it in the pool at the Cleveland show. I've not had it in the water to fish out of it yet until today, and I had it on display at the Tulsa show at the Major League Fishing Expo, and I'm pretty good on the air pressure on this one. I know when I left Maryland and talked with Trey, it was good to go. The center one, I think we had it at 12 psi. The outer ones are at 3, but this one got a little squishy on me, and it's sort of like that water getting in your rotomolded boat. You're gonna have to bail some water out with a sponge or just add a little bit, and it changes really the amount of pressure that you have. And I don't need a lot on the outside. It's just it got a little bit soft on me, and that's more than good. You don't want to take it up too high, and really 3 psi is what you need here, and then 12 for there. But it changes with temperature. We're at 40 degrees right now, and I don't want to take this too much past being able to pretty easily push my thumb into that, because it's going to get up to like, what's our high today?
78, 80 degrees.
Yeah. So our temperature is going to double. This pressure is going to build. So I gave it a little bit. That's all it needs. There is a leak in here that's very slow that took 2 weeks. Sometimes it's faster and you're like, I need to hit it every morning before I hit the river. Then you can patch it, but over 2 weeks and it's losing, what just took me a couple seconds to top off. That's what I, put under the umbrella of, reasonable expectations. Some air is always going to get out of these. I've owned catarafts and bigger rafts and other inflatables. It's just part of the deal. So, but yeah, let's finish getting your I-11 set up, Ryan, and throw this on the truck with mine, and we'll go hit the river.
Sounds good.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Good morning. Second cast, like we're not even in the water. I'm like, I see white water. I gotta throw the Assassinator clacker in there, and good start to the day.
First cast.
No, second.
Second
I
cast.
put one right here first, and then I checked it out there. I'm gonna do it again. Watch. Get out of here, smallmouth. All right, getting ready to launch. Here are 2 inflatables. Ryan's getting the more simplistic, although not totally simple. I mean, you got your Mirage Drive with the 180.
Yep.
And how many rods?
I've got 4 rods.
4 rods. And a hog trough. And a paddle. And a dry bag. A backpack full of
water, food, and tackle.
And a net. And then here I am. Everything. What's the difference? We're both gonna catch fish, right?
We're both hopefully gonna catch fish. I'm pretty sure that's guaranteed today.
So the big difference is the riggability with the track, and I don't know, but they're both going to go shallow. You're going to go shallower because you're packed lighter.
Yeah, I'll be able to go shallower, and the 180 fins will be able to kick back whenever I do accidentally hit it and get a little too shallow.
Cool.
But I was coming right across this bend. You've got a really nice big eddy right here. And I just flipped around right here on the 360. And then I just have a shallow square bait and tossed it right on this point. And he slammed it right as soon as I started reeling it in. And put up a nice little fight. He's got some damage to him right there on the tail, poor little guy.
Yeah.
But he's fighting anyways. Catch some more of these guys and get in some smallmouth. There he is. Beautiful.
So he was just on the foam line?
Yeah, he's right on the foam line.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. So I liked this shoreline because we had shade from the mountain all along it. We're actually along the western edge of the Ozark Mountains as it kind of transitions into you know, the part of Oklahoma you kind of think of, the flatter area, but we're mountainous here. I'll go ahead and kind of turn it up. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. Nice largie. Get him back in. Hey folks, catching some nice river largemouth here in Oklahoma. Making another episode for the Little Stuff YouTube channel. Out here with my buddy Ryan Jones. He's actually downstream a good bit, but got on a good pattern using some scrounger heads from Pulse Fishing Lures with the, I think it's either the 4 or the 5 inch Z-Man diesel minnow. All right, let's get this guy back in the water. Say thank you for playing, Mr. Largemouth. There's some smallmouth in here too. There he goes. So the bait I'm throwing is a 5/8 ounce scrounger head by Pulse Fish Lures. They actually make those down in South Carolina, as do they make the Z-Man diesel minnows. This one's opening night in 5 inch.
So we've got a really nice drop off ledge right dead center where we've got 2 bodies of water kind of joining in together. So I started with a shallow crankbait and worked my line down, and then I went back and pedaled back up. Went with this heavier 1 ounce spinnerbait with the trailer, Saucy Swimmer. So I've got a heavier, we're in some pretty fast moving water, so I went ahead and switched over to a 1 ounce spinnerbait. I've got a Saucy Swimmer trailer on this right here, And I just worked, there's a real solid line that runs down on a drop off, and then it gets, there's actually a stump that comes up out of the water. And so I just worked that line all the way down, and right on that point near that stump, he was able to come out of there and hit my bait, and got my smallmouth for the day. Beautiful fish.
So were you under the foam again, or was it just?
No foam on this one. It was just a really clean, noticeable drop off. It wasn't a 90-degree drop off.
Yeah.
I really like to find those that have a little bit of a pitch to them, and work that bait. I'll throw the bait up into the shallow and just let it naturally fall over, because those predator fish are sitting down there on the bottom, just waiting for bait and being able to go up underneath them and take them.
So let me go ahead and show it. And what I like to do is look beyond where the drop off is in the water, and sometimes up on the bank you can see it. And in this case, it's absolutely the case.
Yep.
Let's take a look.
Very good.
So right in there you see it transition from a dark green, and then on the left it's shallow and swift, and you look beyond it, that little gravel bar there is the on-land continuation of that drop off. So on the right it's deep green, on the left it's kind of shallow, swift, and you can see that cobblestone bottom.
All right, so I caught this. We've got two creeks that are coming in together just like I did earlier. I first fished the ledge drop off like I caught my smallmouth on. This one actually was on a log just on the other bank where the creek came through, just a little bit of slower moving water right there. Threw the same 1 ounce spinnerbait, let it hit the log, and just let it free fall. And he hit it on that free fall, slammed it, had a couple of beautiful jumps. Great fighting fish, beautiful colors on her. Let's go right back to the kayak.
Still under there.
Yep.
So you can see from looking that way how steep the bank is here, and the I think it's afternoon by now, and it's still early spring, and the way the sun is, this whole area is shaded. I mean, it's shaded maybe a third the way across the river, and it's fairly clear water, and I think that makes a difference to these fish in terms of their willingness to come out and chase and eat. There is not a cloud in the sky, and I think when that's the case, they don't want to come out from under their log or rock. And Ryan got that one on the log over there by by letting it fall off the log and in his face, whereas I'm on this shoreline, with chunk rock falling in from this steep outside bend, really a bluff wall. I mean, I walk a little bit up that bank and it's rock straight up. Some of that rock is falling in here, and these fish are, hanging out behind these boulders, but they're shade, so they feel comfortable in terms of coming out to eat something, which is, we've got a couple of them here so far. So one of the nice things about the inflatable is that sneak routes are easier. You can stay to the left, or out of what I'm looking at is a bunch of strainers and rocks and other stuff. So I'm gonna stay left, whereas a rotomolded kayak I think is gonna run aground more on this side. The inflatable is gonna go nice and skinny. So I'll go ahead and turn, and you can kind of see what I just avoided by using the sneak route. It basically would have thrown us into, there was a couple, I mean, obviously there's the big trees up there, and I can maybe see it better. But beyond that, there were a bunch of smaller ones in the middle of those rapids that would have fouled me up, which I better turn around because I got a few more here in front of me. Lots of advantages to staying in skinny water. All right, we might have been fishing a little bit too slow. Brian checked our progress, and we're a third of the way on, like, I think he said it was a 13.2 mile float. So might be time to drop the hammer on the torpedo and get some miles behind us. One thing that I want to do is make sure that we go until we find that sort of outside bend again with a really steep wall. We got a little bit of it here, but the sun is hitting it and there's no shade. So what I want is to just keep going until I find a similar bank to what we had up there, where, you know, we were both catching fish in that section. So might be time to make tracks, go find that, then slow down and fish it. I got one of Ryan's drop-offs right here. Go ahead and whip around, get in position, hold position, launch that big heavy spinnerbait in there. All right, we have floated all the way back to Ryan's home. So, done for the day. I had fun.
Good day.
You want to do it again tomorrow?
Nice to be on the water.
I said, do you want to do it again tomorrow?
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to be joined by Chad Hoover, and we're gonna go from here down.
Yep.
What's the distance on that float?
It depends. We can kind of pick after getting a feel for today.
Yeah.
We can go through and pick, see if we want to do like an 8, 10, 12 mile, see what we're wanting to do tomorrow and the time frame on that. Okay.
So outside bends with those really steep, kind of like what you got right here. I mean, that's a great looking bank. You got them on the drop-offs.
Yep.
The sandbar drop-offs, and some on wood, by just dropping the spinnerbait right on the other side of it.
Yep. Just let it, just had the spinnerbait and let it naturally just fall.
Yep.
Before I started working it.
So, and then I got the one in whitewater right at the beginning. I was hoping that was going to be our pattern, and it was just the one, one smallmouth on the second cast. But I'll try it again tomorrow. I think it'll work.
Yeah, we'll get a little under 13 miles.
Okay.
We did 13.2 today.
Cool. All right, we'll do it again tomorrow. See ya.